Let's start with a very interesting Reddit story from Dulcis Ultio. Boss wants to call it quits, so I give them what they asked for. I started working for someone who had courted me, asked me to come work for them, for 6 months, agreed to salary request, company car, the whole nine. Thoroughly looking forward to the job since this was a former client, knew the person quite well, decent sort, etc. Work starts, all is good, I'm learning their trade and craft and providing my input and expertise. Unbeknownst to me at the time, things are tight financially for them, like really tight. Nearing the end of the month, get called in and am told I'm not dedicated enough to the job. Like WTF, I don't take breaks at all. I'm always early, constantly telling them I'm happy to work overtime, weekends, etc. Would love the OT. But I'm not dedicated enough? What? Lots of back and forth, me defending myself, not entirely certain why, and getting seriously pissed because I work like a man possessed. Then hits me with, we think we should call it quits. Huh? I don't understand. Go over the things I'm learning, stuff I've done. Nope, all that stuff is perfect, more than happy with the input, etc. Anyway, let's get back to work. They drop the entire debacle like a hot potato and I'm left speechless and in a bit of shock. Oh well, brush it off and continue, albeit more aware of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and making sure to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. End of second month is coming, all is looking rosy, work is going good, we seem busy, I'm constantly busy, no real time to hang around and shoot the breeze, and then boom, into another meeting, same shit again. Seriously, WTF? This time though, get told I'm too expensive and costing them X amount per month to have me there. I go a little overboard and defend my position stating they sought me out. Not the other way around. I had a decent job before, same package, and although it wasn't ideal, it was paying the bills and I would have stayed there for years otherwise. Now you hit me with this shit, like, seriously, WTF? And then I get hit with that same BS of we think we should call it quits. Same shit as before, call the meeting to an end swiftly after, when I start saying things like, well, fire me then. To be clear, nothing wrong with work performance, they say as much yet again. Just the overall commitment isn't there. Well now, that's the second time. The second time you've told me that you want to call it quits. In my head I'm, do that to me again. Tell me you want to call it quits. Just one more time. Third month. Things are not looking as good as month 2. Business is a little quieter. Boss has had flu and been a bear for most of the month. I've tried to stay out of their way on purpose, but making sure not to slack off and making sure I'm constantly busy. All good, I'm thinking. Well, not so fast, Dulcis. End of the month is coming. And, wouldn't you know it, I get called in again, FFS man. Can't I catch a goddamned break here? Anyway, play it totally cool and calm. Ask where I'm going wrong, what else should I be doing, etc. Nope, just the overall commitment. Keep in mind, at this point, my work ethic has not changed. My actual work is top-notch, and there really is nothing to complain about. Although I had been off sick 2 days in the month and something else happened that caused me to be off work, but totally legit and with the blessing off boss. Help, those are now held over my head. Off too many days. End the meeting, go home after seeing a doc for my ailment and return the following day. Call boss for meeting to clarify the main issue as boss. Still has not explained or told me what they mean by commitment not fully there. Boss states, you don't come in to work on weekends or holidays. You could have blown me over with aerogel. What in the actual f***? I explained to boss that they stated at the beginning of my employment that we would not be working weekends and holidays. Hell, even my goddamned contract says as much, and that if there is work to be done on weekends and holidays, that there will be time off and payment for it. If. I also explained that they said they were totally okay with me being off ill and for the other issue. Nope, we should call it quits. Boss because boss is pissed, upset, throwing a tantrum. I don't know. Need boss to advise on particular part of a rather important, rather expensive step in the process of the job I'm currently working on, but nope, I'm ghosted. Stick around for 2 hours because I'd like to finish this before I tell boss. I'm complying with their request, but nada. Boss isn't answering calls or messages, so I bounce. Off to home. Remember how I said earlier that the third time would be the last? Well, boss calls a while later. Acts as if there is nothing amiss. WTF. Get into it again over the phone. Tell boss I'm taking them up on their offer. What offer? You know, the one where you said to call it quits. No, don't do anything rash. Think about it overnight and we'll talk in the morning. Yeah, right. Well, I thought it over. And I thought I'd much rather not be treated like scum, and I'll take my shit and You bit off more than you could chew, and now I'm to blame? Get to work next morning. Ask boss if they want to talk in private or in general work area. Nope, we can talk in general area. Okay, well, I've thought about it and I think it best that I do take you up on your offer. Just pay me out to the end of the month and we're good. If not, well, I have recourse. No, all good, I'll pay you out. Took my and right off. Left boss to deal with the rather important, rather expensive and very time-sensitive job I was busy with. Guaranteed to cost a good few thousand to get an extension if the job isn't lost altogether. TLDR. Boss courted me for months, couldn't afford me, blamed me, told me once too many times that we should call it quits. So I took him up on it. Side note, I'm starting up my business again, so it's no biggie to have left the job. It'll be up and running in time to pay bills and such next month. Also, I'm being purposely vague so as to retain a modicum of anonymity. Edit. Boss is screwed. Me leaving means boss has to do all the work themselves. The whole reason I was hired in the first place is because boss couldn't keep up with the workload. We would have been in profit by the end of next month. I was catching up the backlog. Sorry if I didn't clarify that part. Eat it too. Thank you very much to every single person who commented below. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the support from those who provided it and for the kind words. Also thanks to those who pointed out where I erred as far as the disclaimer goes. I only put it in because I thought it was the done thing, as I'd seen it elsewhere before. But I do appreciate your comments. Negative feedback isn't bad, it helps me to grow, and that's my takeaway from it. Just to clarify a few things, boss is very competent as far as the work goes. Boss was in a tough spot as they were doing all the work themselves and needed someone else to help lighten the load. However, I don't think boss took into account just how expensive it is to hire someone who has the knowledge and expertise, and also expected that knowledge and expertise to magically transform the influx of money overnight. In all other areas, boss was fantastic, very supportive, freely shared knowledge, etc. But because of the cost and not realizing the benefit of having me grow within the business, boss took those frustrations out on me. Unfair? Yes. I would have stayed on and powered through the negativity were it not for the fact that boss kept repeating we should call it quits whenever they had to think about paying bills and paying me. I still think boss is a fantastic person and I would love to do work for boss in future, but it would be on a contractual basis only. I phoned boss yesterday and explained as much, and boss indicated that they would contact me next week. Boss needs to get over my leaving, and that's fair. But our prior relationship seems solid. Boss will become a client again and maintain our previous relationship with the added benefit of boss being able to call on me for the other work I was doing, as well as the work I was doing for them before being hired. And I get to benefit from the rates I charge, which means that I will make more per hour than when I was an employee. Sucked. Thanks, everyone. To the person who reached out, worried that I might be in a bad place. Thank you. Sincerely. I'm totally okay, but it's really heartwarming to know that there are kind folks like you out there that care so much. Much love to you. The malicious compliance was executed flawlessly and to the next level, taking the boss's repeated call it quits suggestion, literally making the boss play double the what he was paying before. Such ungrateful people deserve such compliances. It is kid of best sweet revenge. The next story from Burn and Count. Do exactly and only as told. Okay. Take holiday ASAP. Okay. Check emails on holiday. Okay. But it'll cost you in the long run. A story of MC and upwards management from a decade ago. Usual caveats. Names changed, writing on mobile and English as second language. TLDR at bottom. To set the scene, recently direct employed at UK HQ for a sizable national B2B company that I'd contracted for. Me is me, your OP. Bob is my new micromanaging boss. Jim is my nice hiring manager. They guy who talked me into joining rather than continuing on contracts, only mentioned as his warning to cover my rear with Bob, made this possible. So to the story before you lose interest. Bob started our relationship with a request for one-on-one meeting to understand my role, as it was one they'd never experienced except as an end stakeholder. Seems promising, so I prepare a concise but thorough briefing presentation to outline core deliverables and resource allocations as they stood. Dear reader, I lie not. Second slide showing the period spread of legal and corporate compliance activities was up for 3 seconds when I was instructed to cease presenting and dressed down as follows. Paraphrased for expediency and clarity, as Bob had, as I later learned, a tendency to ramble on tangential lines. Bob, do you presume to instruct me, a board director, your superior in all aspects, and your direct manager on how to run my subordinates? Me? No. I presumed that you called this meeting to familiarise the key deliverables and legal requirements of a business area that was hitherto the exclusive remit of Jim. If this was a misinterpretation on my part, I apologize, and... Bob cutting me off. That's quite enough. You are here to be told what, how, and when to do your job. I'm having a mental replay of overheard break room conversations about Bob's need to control everything. Bob continuing as I settle into the at ease pose adopted by frequently disciplined grammar school boys and military recruits. I am in charge, I give the instructions, and you treat anything that could be construed as a request as a direct order. The only time I want to hear from you is for clarifications, authorizations, or to confirm that you have received, understood, and actioned my orders. My blood was rushing in my ears. The nails on both hands were close to splitting my palms, but I knew anything I said would end badly for my salary, and I'd have to play nice. Me almost gritting my teeth. Understood. May I clarify one thing, please? Bob with a look of utter contempt. What exactly was unclear from what I just said? Me reverting to a customer service developed S to eating tone. Nothing was unclear, only you omitted to reveal how and when I am to receive orders. Bob turning crimson. Email when it hits your inbox. My PA will have minutes of this meeting ready before you've made it back to your desk. Now out, I am too senior to waste more time on this. About 6 months later, after fastidious compliance with directives issued to me, mostly via Bob's nice but very timid PA, and careful cover Maya, archiving of all commas and backups to keep us legal, and I add, all whilst discreetly exploring alternative career options both within and outside the company, I am in receipt of a meeting invitation to attend Bob's office. At last, the order came forth with opportunity for MC that started the avalanche. Bob not looking up from their monitor. OP, I need you to book 2 weeks holiday to be taken ASAP. This off-the-record request is your number one priority. Klaxons going off in my head. I'm about to be stood up to take the fall for the state our compliance submissions had fallen into. Lucky I did everything legally required of me. I'm not responsible under policy or law for the compliance, only what I am told to do. Me deciding this is my chance to goad Bob's ego. 2 weeks ASAP. Gladly, I can hand over everything by end of this week, and I did get ahead of the monthlies in case you forgot to request them, so could start with next week and the week after. Bob looking oddly relieved and making eye contact. PA will process and authorize. Those monthlies better be perfect. You are dismissed. Friday comes, and the anticipated flurry of last-minute requests and instructions come through. Amongst the laundry list was the utter gem I had hoped for. A direct email, not PA acting as, with instruction to keep company phone with me at all times and to keep regular, twice-daily contact throughout the 2 weeks. No one asked what I was doing with my impromptu 2 weeks away from the office. I was fortunate to have the chance to fly 1-2-way around the world to stay with my brother, 20 mins, booking flights, no luggage or hotel costs to worry over. Remember that order to be online? Early 20-teens data costs were insane. Ad roaming, you get where this goes. I dutifully followed orders and ate roaming data like a social media-obsessed teenager. I logged hours and dutifully submitted them to payroll. I drank like a fish and had the best time with my brother. End of the month, I'm back and being a good peon with my head down and keyboard clicking when the calendar entry pings in. Seems I am to be favoured with another face-to-face. I have an idea of what is coming, but oh boy, Bob appearing to be in the middle of a meltdown. What the hell have you done? Going lowercase to save your eyes, but this was at fire alarm in your ear volume. You have caused incalculable damage to my reputation in this company. The other board and Jim were laughing at me saying, I can't control you. You're out. You're over. You're... Me interrupting in parade ground voice, standing to my full 6'4". I'm covered. Your hubris and ineptitude are laughable. If I'm out, it'll be by my choosing and with a clean sheet. Jim knows full well that I wouldn't drop the ball on compliance, regardless of you meddling in things you're not even aware of. Everything you forgot is covered except your own backside. You're not even peer-worthy, let alone superior to me, even though you may be higher ranking. Yes, I got that from a film I can't remember, but this part is crystal clear. I bid you good day. I turned 180 and walked out of the office into stunned silence across the open-plan 100-seat floor and back down to my desk. The fallout. I enjoyed the inevitable HR session chaired by Jim. I promised not to use any manner that might be deemed threatening for 6 months. I was also returned to reporting to Jim, who reinstated my OT plus TIL for the time I worked on holiday and let me get back to keeping things compliant. Bob did indeed have a full meltdown soon after. My show of assertion crumbled the empire of fear. They left to enjoy early retirement and faded into memory. TLDR, new boss is a micromanager. I MC to let them fall on their own lack of knowledge and end up looking bad to their peers before assertively destroying their in-office authority, leading to end of career for them. OP executed malicious compliance perfectly, following Bob's micromanaging orders and racking up roaming costs while staying legally protected. It is lesson, though bitter, for people who try to micromanage their employees. The best part of the shattering Bob's authority